Hello everybody and welcome back to our vocal classes today. I'm so excited to be sharing with you a nice easy warm-up today, and then we're going to shift right into a flexibility workout that's going to be great for your riffs and runs, whether you're singing classical, doing some Bach and some Mozart and some long 16th note runs, or if you are trying to work on some gospel music, some R&B music, some musical theater music that has some flexibility required, and you just want to learn how to do some riffs. Riffs and runs are great explosions of emotion. We want to make sure that we always, if we're adding them in, that we're editing. It's really important, crucially important that we're editing, and that we're making sure that we always have intention behind what we're doing. So when you hear people doing a lot of riffs and it's just one on top of another, on top of another, you can lose the melody, and it's really easy to for your ear to get tired because you can't follow the shape of what's going on. We want to have the same general feeling, and we'll come back to this after the warm-up, so I'm going to do a quick warm-up with you. But we want to have the same general feeling all through, whether we're doing a classical run or whether we're doing an R&B riff. We always want to have that forward placement. We want to feel that pocket, so we're going to lift the soft palate. We're going to find that place in that lifted spot that has that curve that just gets to that pingy resonance, and it becomes really easy. We're going to back off on the pressure so that we can get that nice fluidity all the way through. A lot of people struggle, including me. This was my worst subject in undergraduate. Anytime we had to do anything from the Baroque period that had lots of 16th note runs, I would freak out and never want to do it. So we're just going to tackle some of these things today and try to help you with the technique, and then give you lots of exercises to help you work on your flexibility. All right, so let's start. Let's remember our 4-part breath cycle. So we're going to start with the exhale. We're going to fill up all the way around the midsection, holding it firm, and then we're going to control our exhale. Release. Fill up again. Make sure shoulders are down and back. Hold it firm, and out. Now right here, we're going to start that breath cycle one more time and go right into those bubbles. If you can't do a bubble, just hit me with a hum. You can keep that nice and vertical, so make sure that there's lots of space inside your mouth. Exhale, breathe in, hold it firm, and resonating here in the cheekbones, and make sure that all 4 of those vowels all fit in that same space. Those are really important so that we make sure we're activating that diaphragm and energizing that muscular support all the way around your torso. Flexibility exercises today, whether you're ready to or not. We're going to try both of those. So let's just start on those bubbles. Flexibility exercises. Now the key is we want to find that forward pocket. So find that placement by making sure that you have that nice lift for your soft palate, by biting into the apple, by smelling the wonderful rose or the carne asada or the Pop-Tart donuts, depending on what a foodie you are, which is what I like to do. Think about playing Chubby Bunny, so having that space in your mouth. Think about the start of a yawn. Think about Chris from Family Guy going, what? So you're going to have that lift. So if you want to raise your eyebrows, that's a great way to get started on that forward placement and having that forwardness. But we want to avoid the crazy eyes that sometimes happen with choir kids. Now, you know, if you've ever been to a choir festival, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where you have this whole choir full of people singing with their crazy eyes, and it becomes really overwhelming. So bring that down. We want to have an internal lift, not necessarily a I'm gonna murder you lift. Okay, so we want to have that lift, and I want you to think about the curve of your voice going from behind your skull, up, over, out, and forward. It's this big wave of sound that's going to go out, and I want you to try to pierce your device and get right straight through, right into my forehead. It should be coming up, out, over, and forward. That forward placement is key. And then we want to keep the pressure nice and light. So whatever pressure you need, if you want to keep it nice and light today, that's okay. We don't need to be belting things when we're doing our exercises. So keep the pressure at what it needs to be right now, today, and forgive yourself for not being where you want to be necessarily. Keep the pressure light so that you can make it through all these exercises. If it starts to crack or you start to grab or you can't get through it quick enough, back off a little bit and see what happens. Making sure that the diaphragm and that all the musculature is engaged and active and working and supporting everything that you're doing in your breathing. Okay. So we're gonna just start with some basic scales. We're gonna switch vowels on each one. Now, if you have problems with your pitch, I love this exercise because this is a multitasking warm-up. This is gonna help you with your pitch for minor scales. And that tends to be a lot of what blues riffs use chunks of the minor scale, so this is going to help you as well. So we're going to start on an E. Keep it forward, pop it right into that behind your teeth. So I'm going to go back and I want you to make sure that you're listening to yourself to go, which are the vowels that are my troublesome vowels that I have a hard time keeping in the forward placement. So I'm just going to go back and do that one for myself. So if I slow it down, that helps. And then let me see if I can get it up to speed. I'm still clicking, so I'm going to try to push it even a little more forward. And I've got it. So that means that I had to take the pressure off. You might have to too. Depends on what shape you're in and how long it's been since you've been working on your flexibility. All right, so let's move into some more advanced ones. All right, so this is a long one. You may want to just listen to this and come back to it later when you can practice it over and over again. But we're just going to do it on an ooh. And just follow along with me. Breathe. keep the flexibility, keep the forward placement all the way through. Nice and light. Flexibility. We want to make sure that that voice feels like a laser beam, not like a wide fat noodle, but like a nice clean laser beam. So as you go, you're going to release the jaw a little bit as we go higher. And just like release that. So now my ooh isn't as small, but it's going to be a little more vertical. Right? And then as we go, I'm still trying to make sure that I'm envisioning my voice as a laser beam. So let's try that high one more time. An economy of sound. We want to have the most efficient sound that we can possibly. So that's going to mean a feeling of keeping your voice inside your mouth to some extent. We want to imagine that the forwardness, the forward placement is pinging outside of our skull and outside of the top of our forehead, and it's moving forward. But we want to keep the breath. We want to control the breath, right? So there's two different parts to this. Breath support, your musculature, breath control, keeping that air inside your mouth. So we want to project the sound using our amplifiers, all of our resonant bones in our skull and our cheekbones and our soft palate, but we want to make sure that we keep that sound inside our mouth in terms of our air, so it doesn't all go. We want to economize our sound so that it's efficient, and that is how opera singers can fill these massive auditoriums and have lots of sound without blowing it out and not having any tension on their throats. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. I'm taking you through this riff. Okay, so we did a couple of classical ones. Let's do a little pop riff agility exercise. I like this one. Is the lyrics are, wait for me till I come back, hold on longer, we can make it. Okay, so we're gonna hit each of these. Wait for me. Ooh. So there's one long lyric, shorter repetition of the lyric, and then we switch to a vowel. So we're gonna do ooh, hey, yeah, things like that, all right? So we wanna keep that forward placement, and I want you to ride that stream of air as we do the ooh. All these are little building blocks of riffs. Here we go, wait for me. Till I come back. same thing. Right at tempo. Shift you over to something classical. Now, I don't do a lot of classical stuff, but I think it's appropriate on this particular day since we're doing some flexibility, not just so for our sorry, making sure that my connection is good. So we want to have flexibility not only for our riffs and runs, but we can use classical technique to get that agility as well. So I'm going to take you through something that I know my friend Jillian McMahon out there, who is a professional opera singer herself, has done a million times. These are Marchesi exercises. So this is like a book of vocalises that was written somewhere in the Baroque period, and it's been used for bel canto, legitimate classical training for centuries. So we're going to take this through kind of an easy one. It's all scales. I'm going to do it kind of slow for you, and I'm going to go ahead and sing it in Italian because that's just the easiest. Italian is such a great language for singing because everything is pure vowels. There's no diphthongs, there's no like blends, there's no like crazy consonants like we have in English. I love speaking English, but I love singing in Italian. I would only sing in Italian if I had the choice. Okay, so we're gonna go through it, and it's just listen to it, and you may be able to go back and repeat this when you have it downloaded on your own. So I'm gonna go nice and slow. English, and then we'll just switch it over to an oo to make it easy for you, okay? So listen to the patterns. This is the same way that I learn riffs and runs in R&B and in musical theater. I'm looking for chunks that I can recognize, and right off the bat I have a scale. If I could play it. So start listening for those pieces as you learn this. I cannot E actually. That's going to keep it nice and forward for you. So listen for those patterns. E, nice and forward. Pull off the pressure if you can't get through it in the nice agile way. Allegro moderato, which is about like 112 to 128 beats per minute, and that's really going to get to the point that you can take one breath between every phrase. Let's try it one last time, and that's going to be our sign off for today. I'm going to go back to Italiano because I love to speak Italian, and that's my favorite thing to sing. And you go ahead and do it on your vowel, or you can do it in English. I'll put the words up here in the captions, okay? Have a great week, and I will see you right back here on Thursday.